Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy MumboElite. This has been probably one of the most anticipated videos we've had on the channel for a while. You guys have been literally nonstop telling me to make this. It's an updated version of the Libertadores League SBC grind. We have a video already on the channel where we show ourselves back when it first originally came out, doing the Lib SBC into every other League SBC, kind of how we did that. I'm going to make this one specifically for the Lib grind. You can go to other ones off this if you want. I'm going to still show you kind of the fodder you can get, but this is specifically going to be how to grind this, and then whatever you want to do after this, that is completely up to you. But I plan to do videos like this for other League SBCs. We'll do this for the MLS, Championship, things like that. So if you have a league you want to see, comment it down below, but smack the like button, dudes. Subscribe if you're new. We are going to make this a pretty long video, kind of going into detail on how it's done. But without further ado, dudes, let's get right into it. First step to this method, I'm going to show you kind of a way you can do this on the console, and then I'm going to show you how you can do this on the web app as well, because there's two different methods. First step is bidding. Now, depending on how many cards you have, this is going to be where we kind of start our bidding journey. First thing you're going to want to do is go to Libertadores League. If you're on console, you cannot select the quality here. It will not work. Just go to League over here. We're going to go to Libertadores. And I would recommend get an idea of what the whole market's going for in general, just so you have an idea of where cards are at. Then we're going to go position by position. So as you see, if I go to 300 coins, everything right now on the market is selling for 300 coins within, looks like 10 minutes. If I go to 400 coins, you're going to notice that drops off a little bit. A lot of bronzes are popping up, though, in different positions. Now, what makes a Lib card a bronze? I consider a bronze the rating. So if you go off of bronze packs, anything that is a 64 rated or below is technically a bronze rated player. The reason why this is important is Lib cards count as rares. So a bronze rare you can bid 150 on is the minimum price. But if it goes to a 65 to 74 rated, which is considered a silver Lib card, a silver rare, the minimum you can bid on a silver is 250. So that's going to be a difference of price that you can pick up. So you're going to get an idea of what these bronzes are going for. Now, if you want to bid on bronzes in and of themselves, and you see they're going for a certain price, and you want to try to make coins on them, feel free to put a filter here where you might mass bid, like let's say 200 at the moment. If you can pick these up for 150, sweet. This is going to be really nice for that first requirement, where you need one player from each team. Don't need a super high rating. You can save quite a few coins here. And obviously, if you pick up a lot of these cards, we saw what the buy now is going for, you can flip them pretty easily. However, buy now prices aren't always where they're at right now. There might be times where there's cards that are not even selling for 200 coins, so you might want to look at that before you start the next step of the process, which would be going position by position. Now, I like starting with midfielders. I go to 400 buy now, and why I do this is I essentially get an idea of how much the bronzes are going for, and I look for the first silver to pop up. If we keep moving, it looks like this page has a 70 rated silver that sells within 5 minutes most of the time at this moment. And besides that, I don't see any other silvers on this page. If you go to the next page, you're going to see some other cards pop up here. If you want to try to snipe these, compare price, see what the other buy now is. Looks like that one's going for 650, 600. If I want to snipe this for 400 and try to list it for 600 as like a quick flip, feel free to do that, but that's not really what we're here to do. We're here to mass bid. That's the step. That's what we're going to do. So we can see that everything's going for 400 buy now. So if I do a max price of 300 and bid on the silver cards, I know for sure that these are going to sell at this point in time. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to mass bid on as many as I can. And again, with the bronzes, if you see you can bid 150 or less than what the current buy now is, if you compare price, feel free to place a bid on there too. I just mainly stick with the silvers. It is up to you though. If you want to bid on silvers and bronzes, by all means, go for it. So that is going to be the first step. Now comes to pulling these cards off. If we pull these cards off now, you're going to notice that we have some duplicates and some that are not. If you are low on coins and you store things in your club, let's say you have no duplicates. For me, I had 30 cards here, 15 of them are duplicates. Me storing these in the club isn't going to be a problem. But if you have no cards in your club and you store these and you essentially run out of coins because you have nothing else to flip, do this instead. Instead of storing everything in your club, let's say you have these 15 cards right here, maybe sell 13 of them and store 2. If you know the profit you can make off of it, that could be a really easy way of making a flip. For example, we picked this guy up for 300 coins. If I look at his lowest buy now, Looks like he could probably go for 500 within the hour. I could sell that for that price. I could look at the cam, see what he's going for. Looks like he could potentially go for 800 coins within the hour. I could flip that for that price. If it sells, sweet. The rest of these cards, again, I could sell, and then the ones that I wanted to store, I could store. But since I have coins I'm not going to run out, I'm going to store anything that's not a duplicate in my club. And essentially, all these rest of the cards are going to be things I can flip for profit. What this does over time is as we get more cards in our club, we lay a foundation for the SBC, and then we're able to start making our coins back on a lot of these cards. So this one I bid 300 on. How much is he going for? Looks like we could probably get 700 out of him. If we sell him at this price, have doubled our coins at least on him, which essentially pays for the one we already have in our club now that we're in profit. This one here too, looks like we could get 600 out of him. We bid 650 or 350. So it's not necessarily double our coins, but we're still making some good coins back. Now, the more duplicates you get, the more coins you're obviously going to make. In this process, if you keep bidding and bidding until you got a bunch of duplicates, it's going to make it where you're even in profit before you start the SBC, which is ultimately our goal as the first step. You want to try to get as many cards as you can to lay a foundation, because we want to go through this SBC many times. So as you see here, I'm just comparing price, looking at what the buy nows are going for. For the most part, you don't have to go all the way to the 59th minute. Reason why I don't always go to the 59th minute is a lot of the times the ones in the 59th minute are going to get bought out. So I typically will look towards like the last 20 to half an hour. And if a card has a buy now in that range, I'll typically list it for that. Worst case scenario, a card is overlisted or overpriced that you list, and you have to relist it again, maybe lower. That's not a big deal. But all of these cards, we're probably going to make at least a couple hundred coins on them, which is nice. That's kind of the foundation we want to start with. That's kind of what we want to do moving forward. Now, I'm going to quickly list these cards later. We're going to store them up here for now. We're going to move on to the next step. So after you kind of get in the process of mass bidding on these cards, store them in your club, flipping duplicates, prices are going to change throughout the day. Prices are going to change throughout the week. They're never going to be the same. If you're on PlayStation, it might be different than Xbox. Xbox might be different than PC. Don't copy the prices we're going for. Look at the buy nows and bid less. Because if you're bidding less than the buy now, you can always make a profit off the card. Now, the first team we're going to want to get into the process of doing, and this is where it's really important to pay attention. The first team you want to start with is the one team requirement. Don't start with this first one. Don't go to the highest rated. The reason why we want to do this one is the hardest to get a lot of players from the same team. Now, where people get a very expensive version of the lib done, where they waste a lot of coins, is a lot of people will just go to the market and they'll buy now a team. They'll go to a certain team that they've heard is the best to do. It's the cheapest to do. They'll do buy now prices of maybe like 500 plus on a lot of these cards. You rack up a lot of extra coins that you don't need to put into this. What I'd recommend after you start bidding quite a bit, go to your club, look at the Libertadores cards, and see how many you have. Typically, if you have 200 to 300 cards, that is a really good place to be in terms of being able to continuously go through this SBC while bidding. But you're not always going to be at a position where you can do that, which if you're not at a position you can do that, the next best indicator to see if you're ready to go is to see if you have this one team requirement. So we're going to start with this team right here. Belize looks like we have over 11 cards that we could put into that team. If we go to this club, you're going to see that we have over 11 cards that we can put into this team. So we have already two teams that we might possibly be able to use in the solution. If we use this team right here, we don't have enough as is. But a lot of these teams have 11 plus at some point that you might be able to use. A good indicator that you can see if a team is usable in this solution is one, look at the rating. You need a 65 overall for this rating, which means you're going to need probably quite a few silvers. If you go to concept players and go to teams like Club Always Ready, you're going to notice there's not quite a few players that go for very high rated in this team, but there might be quite a few bronzes that bring that average down. That might not be a good team to use. Same goes for a team like Deportivo, Tarira, FC, however you say that. This team only has a couple silvers, so the rest are going to be bronze. This isn't a team you're going to want to do for the one team. However, as we go through these teams, you're going to notice a lot of them have quite a few players that are high silvers or a lot of silvers in general. That means a lot of these teams you're going to be able to use in this. And the indicator that I would go off of if you're ready to do this one team or which team you should select is whichever one you have the most from. So the example I will use, we'll take concepts off. If I go to, what was it, Club Universitario, looks like we have almost all the players we need for this. So we have goalkeeper, we have a right back, we have a left back, we have a center back, we have other center backs, we have goalkeeper. We have quite a few cards. So let's put these in and see what we can get. And if we have to buy a card or two, that is completely fine. For the most part, we have got all these cards on bid, which is great. Because if you think about it like this, if we're bidding, let's say 250 coins to 300 on a lot of these guys, if we were going to buy now them for around 500 coins, we're essentially doing this for half the price. And that's not even including the duplicates that we might be selling on for profit. That kind of stuff adds up over time. So as we move these guys around, we're going to start to see if we have the chem requirement needed. I'm going to start putting my CDMs in the midfield. I'm going to put a center back. Oh, not there. I'm going to put a center back where it belongs. Then I'm going to put a striker up top. So looks like we didn't have to buy a single card. We got this done perfectly. Rating-wise, we have a 67. Chem-wise, we are over that 95 that's needed. Boom, we can end this and put it in. Now we have ourselves an Electrum Players Pack, which is going to be huge for, like I said before, doing other league SBCs and or packing cards. However, that's not the point of this video. So I'm going to hold this pack and we're going to open up later. Next step. What are you going to do for this next step? Now that we've been bidding, selling duplicates, you can continue that process if you want. Some of you might want to keep going through this SBC. What I would recommend after this is going to the top rated team. You need 3 gold players and you need a 74 rated squad. So the first thing I do is I go for some high rated golds. I go to concept players, I go to goalkeeper, and I go to Libertadores. And I get this 80 rated goalkeeper right here. Then I'll go to the CDM spot. I will pick up this Perez, the 80 rated CDM. I'll go to the striker spot and I'll pick up this 79 rated Suarez. Now, if you want to use different positions with different ratings, that's completely up to you. I find this helps me get the 74 rated pretty simply with using low-end 70-plus players and some high 60s. So I will go to the right back spot now. We'll check our club on what we have. And the more you go through this, you're going to notice teams that you like using for that one team requirement, the squad we just completed. What you're going to do is try to not get in the habit of using those teams in this solution, because if you're going to be using a one team over and over, it would be smart to keep those cards for that one solution. I know for me, I don't use racing a lot for the one team, so I'm going to use them in this solution here. I see another one there. What's a lower center back since I used a higher one there? We can do a racing again. Now I go to left back. I see no racing here, but I see that this team has 2 of the same team, and they're both a left back, so I'm going to use one of these guys. We know that we have a CDM spot, so I'm going to switch off of that. We're going to go to right mid. I'll use the 71 rated here. I'll put in a left mid. We'll go with the 66 for this one and kind of check to see if we have the rating still. Cam, we have quite a few options. We have the racing, but we probably don't need that. I noticed that this team has 2 cams. I'm going to use one of the cams in here. If we go to striker, you can kind of compare and see, hey, does that give us the rating? If so, keep going down to see if a lower one can give you the rating. If I go all the way to a 54, 54 gives me a 73, so that doesn't work. But if I use the 68, that brings us to the 74. So boom, I throw him in there. Then we go buy the golds. Now, when we buy these golds, they might be different prices depending on when you're doing this. At the moment, these are pretty low, so we're picking them up for 700 coins. Besides picking these dudes up for 700 coins, the rest of the cards in here we're essentially picking up for 250 to 350. Essentially, the ones we're picking up for 350 are probably going to be the 70-plus rated players. The ones that we're picking up for 300 probably going to be the high-rated 60s. And the ones that we're picking up for 250 might be the mid-60 kind of cards. So overall, we're not paying a crap ton for this. If you want to do the calculation for how much this would cost, you can do that on your own each time you go through to kind of realize if you're doing it for profit or not. I don't really care as much because we're flipping so many duplicates for profit. I know we're going to have so many untradeable cards that we're putting into League SBCs. I know we're going to have so many tradable cards that we're also putting into League SBCs that I know for myself, I'm already doing it for profit. But if you want to calculate that beforehand, feel free to do so. Look at every player, look at how much you paid before you submit it, write it down, see how much the league costs you, see how much duplicates you flip for profit, and then sell as many things on as you can and see how many coins you actually get back. So now that that team's done, we're going to go to this one, which is a 70 rated squad. This one's a lot easier to do, and it gives me my favorite pack, which is the Jumbo Gold pack. I'll show you why in a second, why it can be so good. But we're going to go to Libertadores. Now we don't need to do any concept. I'm just going to go through. I'm going to use typically a 70 rated goalkeeper. I'm going to go to my defense, and I'm going to look for probably some defense that is not going to be used in a one team. This Union, I noticed we didn't have a lot of players for before, so I'm going to put him in there. Center backs, I see we have a lot of defensive center backs, so I might throw in a 71. Screw it, I'm going to throw in a 73 too. We're going to give us some cheaper positions throughout here now. I'm going to throw in this Union guy. I remember we used another left back from this team. I'm going to do another one there. CDMs, I should be fine if we use one again from Defensa. We put other defensive players in, so I can put him in. Now that we have a 73 in there to bring the average down, let's do this rent one. I know we don't use that team a lot either. Let's go to the right mid. As you see here, we have a 73 as the cheapest, or the lowest rated right mid. So we're probably going to want a low one on the left side to balance it out. There's a 66. If we go to Cam, we're going to probably go low again because we probably don't need super high. I'm going to use this depth team again because I know they're pretty low rated. And then we're going to take a look at the strikers. 71 brings us to 70. What does a 54 bring us to 69? So we can't do that. But if we go to 68 again, that works. So boom, we're going to submit him. That gets us to the 70 rating. If you want to mess around and do different players in different positions, that's up to you. I kind of know what I'm doing at this point off of, again, which team I'm using for the one team and essentially using the other players throughout. So there we go. We got the Jumbo Gold Pack done, submitted, sweet. That is good to go. Now we're going to go to the final team. And again, depending on how you want to do this, if you're someone who wants to make more profit before you even open these packs, before you finish grinding the League SBC, feel free to keep bidding in between. Each time you do a pack, you could just go back in, mass bid, store some in your club, sell duplicates, do that over and over. I typically do it that way. You can too. Otherwise, just come in, finish this last team. The way I do this now, and this is a good way of checking how kind of full your club is when you get to the end, I go to Lib. I will start from the front, so we'll go to club always ready. And again, have that kind of tally in your head, which teams are probably going to be too low rated to use in the one team. You're probably going to want to put in here. So this one looks like we have a CM, Cam, and a CDM. I know that we have a CDM needed in this position, so I'm going to put him there. I'm going to go to the next team then. Go over. We're going to go to America. Check how many players we have. Not a lot, so we know we're probably not going to use this for the one team. I'm going to use the right back there. Then we go to the next one. I notice we have a center mid. There is a left back here, but he's pretty high rated, so I'm going to stick to the center mid. Go to this team. They have a right wing, which is interesting. That's going to be really good because I don't have a lot of right wings. If I go to Barcelona now, I see that they have a Cam, they have a goalkeeper. I'm actually going to go with the Cam here. We might come back and get the goalkeeper if we need one. However, I'm going to hope that we have one throughout the rest of the squad. So we don't have a striker yet. Let's go with the 69 rated striker. If we go to club, I notice we have a lot of players from here. I'm going to use this for another one team requirement later on. However, I'm noticing that they have quite a few center backs. We're not going to need all those center backs, so I'm going to pull one of the lower rated ones. We're going to use that in our solution ourselves. Defensa, again, I know I just used a lot of Defensa cards before, so I know we're not going to have the one team requirement for this. We already have two midfielders, a CDM and a Cam. Oh, actually, we have three. We have a CM, Cam, and a CDM. So we're not going to need this CDM. However, I'm going to put it on our bench right now. You know what? Let's go with the left back. I'm going to do left back there. Deportivo, come here. See, do we need a center mid? Nope, we should be good. Come to the next one. What do they have us here? They have a goalkeeper, a center back, and a right back we could use. Do we have a goalkeeper yet? Nope. Do we have a center back? We have one center back. I'm going to go with the goalkeeper, though. We're going to go to the next team. Flamengo doesn't have one. Independente. Ooh, they have a goalkeeper. So we're going to go back. Let's go back to Deportivo. And we're going to use the center back instead. So like little things like this, if you notice kind of a team has a certain player, you might want to go back and change it. Now I think we just need a left mid, but we should be good on Chem anyways. So I could probably put whatever there. Let's take a low-rated center mid. Let's chuck him at that left wing spot and see if this does work. If not, we can go and get a different player. However, I'm just going to submit this as is and see if we're good. So we're going to put in the center backs. We're going to put in the goalkeeper. Essentially just find the position we need all these guys in. And as you see there on the right side, you only need 90 chem, 62 rating. So this is where using as many bronzes as possible is probably going to be good for you. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. We're getting a lot of these dudes for similar prices when they're silver. Bronzes, we're going to get for probably 150, 200. So you save a little bit there. That gives us the solution. There we go. We get a jumbo silver pack. And just like that, dudes, we have the SBC done. Now, that took us, I don't know how long to do. We kind of explained that in detail, walked you through it. Typically, if I was just submitting these teams quick on a stream, you would see that we did it a lot faster. However, the first time doing it, you'll probably have a lot of questions. It'll be a little slower. You want to get more cards in your club. But as you get more comfortable, this process is going to get faster and faster. When I first started the Lib, I did it once or twice a day. Then about a month in, we were doing it 5 to 10 times minimum. And typically, we're getting up to 15. One day I did like 20 to 25, and that was just crazy. So if you want to start again, you could start this whole process. We're going to open the packs personally. But before you start again, you want to check that one team requirement, see how you're doing. I typically start from the backside again. We're going to go high to low, or low to high, I mean. We're going to check for Valise. They have enough players, it looks like, potentially. Club that we just used before doesn't. Looks like most of these are going to be pretty low. So I'm probably going to want to go through a mass bidding spree before we start again. However, if you don't care as much about maybe buying a couple players off the market, if you notice that you have a lot of players from one team and you're okay buying like 2 or 3 players for a buy now price, feel free to do that too. That is completely up to you. That's where you can kind of separate yourself from me if you want. We're going to open the packs though, because this is the part of the video where I typically, or the part of the method where I will start doing other league SBCs off of what we pack. So let's open the tradable ones first, just because I want to show you how you can make coins off of these, how easy it is to also use these for other league SBCs if you so choose. So we open this up. Let's see what kind of players we get. So we get a Brazilian here, which is nice. Typically, Brazilians have at least a little value. Looks like we might be able to get 500 out of them. Sweet. Any other league SBC players? And EA is giving us the crappy logo again. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Sometimes the loading menu is really bad. So here we got a goalkeeper from France. He's looking like he's going for over 1,000 coins. We're going to undercut that a little bit. I see we have a Serie A card here. So we're going to see if we can sell this on the market. Looks like it's going for about 700. We'll undercut it for 600. I have 3 more League SBC cards that aren't duplicates yet. We're going to sell these on. Looks like we can get 400 for this guy. This would be the case where if you didn't care as much about getting the profit and you wanted to maybe use these for the next League SBC run you're doing with the League MX, feel free to store these in your club. That is completely up to you. But contracts is another thing that people kind of forget to sell or they're too lazy to. Really, if you're trying to make a lot of coins on League SBCs, even though it might seem repetitive, list these contracts, dude. As you see, the time I'm recording this, we're 2 pages in, the 3 pages in, and we're already getting to past a minute for silver contracts. If you list these in bulk, there's a good chance you can get some to sell. So I would do that where you list a huge group of them, relist them together, keep doing that throughout the day. Typically, if you do like, let's say start with a group of 100, let's say you get 10 to sell, then you get 10 to sell again. You have then 20 spots open. You can slowly do other trading with other stuff. Try to give yourself the time to really see if you can get those to sell, because it does add up over time. If you want to, you can look at jerseys and kits right here. This one looks like it's a pretty cool design. This would be one I would typically discard, but as you see here, 5,000 is the highest by now. I'm just going to put like a 1,400 by now with a 150 start price. If someone for some reason wants to buy that and they think that's a really good deal, they might pick it up. If not, I'll quick sell it. Here's another one. You have a kit from Chicago Fire. MLS just started, so I know people are probably going to be wanting to get kits. I'm going to undercut it a little bit. We're going to put 700 for that one. If you want to compare price against any of these stadium themes, badges, things like that, feel free to do so. Some of these items like badges you might not be able to see on here. You might have to go to the companion app or web app to do so. But feel free to check if you want to list any of that stuff. By all means, do it. I typically just quick sell. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's up to you at the end of the day how much profit you're wanting to make. This guy we can list for 500. So as you see, just off of those players alone, we've already made for this one team what we paid for the team, which again, a lot of them were probably 250 to 350 coins. On average, about 300 a piece. 11 players, 3,300 coins. We probably made all that back and some if we'd sell the contracts, we'd sell the other players, some of those consumables, some of those kits. It adds up over time. So now, Jumbo Gold Pack, very similar thing. This was from the 3rd team. A lot of silvers used in that one. No golds whatsoever. So probably on average 300 coins again, which is going to be 3,300 coins on average to do the team for. If that's the price you're doing it for, what can you get out of here? Again, a lot of contracts, a lot of players, a lot of consumables, and I will show you some crazy ones. Hopefully we pack one here. We'll see if we do. We have a center mid from France. We can put this one in here from League One, I mean, not France. He's Brazilian. Looks like he's going for 700 right now. If you want to sell these in the moment, you can. If you notice the card's up in price, like this one, looks like we might be able to get, let's do 1800 for him. If he sells sweet, he's an 82 rated, so that's probably why. Sanchez is an 80. I don't know if 80s are up. Looks like we might get a little bit out of them, so I'll list them for like 750. But the rest of these guys, I might just store to see if they go up in price later. Yeah, that one we might get 500 out of. The reason why I'm going to store these is if we get a repeatable SBC that requires common golds. We had player picks last week, by the time I'm recording this. They were 300 to 350 coins on bid most of the time. Player picks came out, all the common golds shot up to like 700 to 800 coins. So that's huge. So even though we can make coins on these right now, probably 400 to 500 on each of them, which would give us a lot of our coins back, we're going to store those from now. Contracts, same thing. If we compare price on contracts, you're going to notice a couple pages in, you still might be on less than a minute, which means there's a lot of people posting these on the market. Even though you think they might not sell, you should still take time if you're trying to make the most profit in the world to sell these in bulk in groups. It will pay off eventually, I'm telling you. Now we just got two really good position changes. CDM to CM because of the Pogba, I believe is still going for 5K. So we can list this at max price. I'm going to do a start price at like 4.4 just in case. CM to CDM, I don't know how much is going for right now. You can't compare price on console, which sucks. So I'm just going to store that in the club. But I know cam to center mids go for 5K. Striker to center forwards go for 5K. And that CDM to center mid we just have goes for 5K. So we're going to store the rest of those. If you want to check prices on these, you can. Sometimes you have some stadium seat colors that go for a little bit. Like this one, I don't know why. Might go for 700. We'll just list it. Worst case scenario, it doesn't sell. We quick sell it. Boom. Let's check to see if anything sold out of those packs already. If we go to the transfer list, what did we have that sold? Looks like that Romangoli sold a lot of our League SBC cards that we listed, no matter what price we listed them for. Looks like quite a few of them sold. But some of these consumables and kits might not have sold yet, so we'll be patient with those. But now we go to the untradeable packs. So we have the final pack, obviously, which is the 81 plus. Gives you the 4 rare golds, 4 rare silvers, 4 rare bronzes. We're going to do the Electrum first. This one gives you the half silver, half gold. This one we packed 2 future stars out of. Can we get anything good in this one? Looks like we got a Lib card left back, 72 rated. So this guy we can use in our next run through if we don't have him already. Looks like no duplicates in terms of the golds, which is sweet. Got some League 1 cards, so we might be able to go through and do that League 1. We got a La Liga one and a silver one as well, which is great because those silver ones can get kind of pricey over time. Looks like we might be able to save 1,000 coins there. Duplicates, since these are untradeable, we're going to check if we have a tradable one in our club. Both of these happen to be. Left back, we're going to see if we can sell. Looks like we might be able to get 600 out of them. Another card we get to flip for profit, which is nice. That adds up over time. This Japanese striker, we might be able to get 200 within the hour. If he doesn't sell for that, we can just quick sell them. No problem. Now we're going to go to the gold players pack. And again, you can use these cards that you're getting to essentially put them into other league SBCs so you don't have to buy them off the market. If we have repeatable SBCs, you can put these guys as fodder into those, whether we have a player pick, an 81 to 87, anything like that. Looks like we got some Prem cards, so we could do a Prem run through. I'm gonna flip these to see if we have any tradable. Looks like they're all untradeable. This would be the point where I would go do these SBCs if I could, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to quick sell them. Up to you what you want to do there. I'm not forcing you to go through that whole League SBC grind. I know it can take a lot of time, but if you want to do that, it pays off in the long run. I'm telling you, at least do the marquee matchups where you get tradable packs back. We got this guy again. Oh no, we just got this guy like 3 times today. Great. He's a walkout. He's an 84 in form. That's going to be great for a lot of icons. Put in icon teams. Try to get them done. Player SBCs, that's going to be great. These cards, by the way, are only like 13K right now. These might shoot up closer to 20K by the time we get something that sends informs up in price. So you might want to invest in 84s if you notice they're really low. What else did we get here? We got an Azpilicueta, so we got one board. We got another board there. Bunch of duplicates, but a bunch of non-duplicates as well. Bunch of League SBC cards, another France one. Championship there, Belgium, Chinese League. So a bunch of fodder we can do for other SBCs. I'm not going to quick sell this guy. We're going to have to put him into something. I'll do that after the video. But are any of these dudes tradable? This guy is. Can sell him, probably get 700 out of him if we're lucky. If not, we can just hold him in our club or hold him on the transfer list until he goes up. If I wanted to go do something that required close to an 83 rated, we could do that. Put the inform in something. If we wanted to do the Serie A with this bronze, we could do that as well. But that's essentially where you would split and do it kind of however you wanted. So that was how you do it on console. Before we wrap up this video, I know it's been pretty long so far. Let me show you kind of how you can bid on cards on the web app and see if you'd like it better that way. All right, we are on the web app now. We obviously still have our unassigned items to deal with. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Remember when I said there was a filter you could do on here that doesn't work on console with quality? This is where it's going to pay off. So let's say, for example, you did only want to look at silvers or you wanted to look at golds or bronzes. You'd select that there. You'd go to league, and instead of nothing popping up, you actually get these ratings of cards popping up. And sometimes you get quite a few cards that normally don't pop up on the normal market, or you get a lot more bids than you would have on console. It's weird. I don't understand why it works. But again, here looks like every card is going for 400 coins within the hour. That is silver. Let's go to 450 to see if that works too. Boom. Looks like most cards will sell for 450 as well, which is going to be great for flipping a lot of these. I'm going to do a 300 max. Essentially every card we bid on. If you want to bid 350 on it, 300, 250, that is up to you. Strikers, I typically bid 250. Goalkeepers, I'll do 250. I'll bid less than I do normal cards because I know a lot of those you'll be able to win. And they also kind of go down in price too, so I'm not trusting them to be very high. Now, the center backs, I will typically put a 300 bid down, knowing that we could probably get it for at least 500. The ones, again, that I'll do 350 on are either 70 plus rated cards, or if there's a lot of competition on defenders, I will then bid 350 on defenders too if I want to win them all. But a lot of these I'll just bid 300. If we lose them, we lose them. I can always go back and bid more later. But I'll just go through here, mass bid. The cool thing on here as well, you can actually send stuff to your club without having to pull it out. So if I wanted to, like, let's say, place those bids, in the meantime, if I didn't have unassigned items, I could open bronze packs, could do that over and over when I'm waiting. Then essentially, once these start expiring, if I have any cards that I don't already have in my club, I can hit the send to club here. And the reason why that's important is I just sent 8 cards to my club. The rest of these are duplicates. So if I wanted to build up the amount of duplicates I had, sell these on for profit, I could. But the cool thing is you can mix 2 methods together. We have a method where you can do unlimited transfer target. It's essentially a glitch where before I was able to get 10,000 plus cards that were libbed onto my transfer list. This is really good as an investment and to do this league SBC. Let me show you how I do it. So you refresh, and what you want to do is when you go in, you need to go to your squad instantly. I'll show you where to go. It allows you to place more than the 50 bids. So if we go to active squad, I go to my bench right here. I'm going to click into the player. If I go to search transfer list, put in the same filter that I had before. I'm going to do lib. There we go. I'm going to go to 300 coins. Essentially, if we'd get to 50 bids normally, if we're on that normal place that we were bidding before, it would say we can't place any more bids. It'd say we're max. But if I do bids here, we could actually bid on more than 50. Now, I don't know if we're actually close to 50 or not currently, but I'm going to bid until we're for sure over 50 to kind of show you what I mean. So we're going to go through, do the same bids that we want, and you might hit a point where you get a message if you're bidding too quick, where it's essentially saying there's an error or you can't place a bid. Make sure that you guys be careful with how quick you go. When you're on the web app, companion app, EA thinks a lot of us are bots just because we're super efficient. So you probably want to mix it up a little bit. Place some bids again, open some bronze packs, play a game, bounce back and forth, do a league SBC. Essentially mix up what you're doing and the speed you're doing it over and over and over again. Otherwise, EA again is going to think you're a bot. So let's place a couple more bids and see if we're at the 50 yet. If we go to transfer targets, we're at 40 right now. Let's actually show you from this perspective. Let's go back to here. We'll place some more bids. I'll go out a couple minutes. Don't matter to me. Place the bids, and let's get that message to pop up, please. Okay, see, the bid status change. Auction data will be updated. That's the message I'm talking about, that you got to be careful with your bids, where it might get to a place where you get bid banned. Is it really not going to let me do this? There we go. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you get bid banned, it's probably temporarily, and you can go to console and still bid fine. If it happens on web app, you can go to companion app as well. If it happens on companion app, you can bounce to web app. You can go back and forth between them, but typically it's a period of time where you're not going to be able to bid on the device you got bid banned down. As you see here, we should get a message popping up saying when we're full. Yep, there we go. Transfer target list full. Please try again later or clear items from your watch list. It's going to say we have 50 items now. We're going to hit refresh again. We're going to go back to the same spot we did before. It's going to let us get more bids. Now, the reason why this is important is if you're trying to get, let's say, as many cards in your club as possible while also getting as many duplicates as possible, bidding on here might be very efficient. And then you don't want to pull all these cards out and have to put them on your transfer list before you can open a pack. By doing it this way, you can still open packs in the meantime, as long as you have no items in your unassigned area. So we're going to go to Libs again, and just to show you it works, go to place a bid. It will let us get past 50. So let's go to the next page. Here's a right back. We'll bid 300 on, 250 on this guy. Oh, we already had a bid on him, I guess. Let's go past that page. Striker will do 250. 250 on this winger. We'll just do 251s there. And as you see here, boom, we're past that 50. If you do this on console, it puts you at max at 50. If you do this just from this transfer market alone, put a max at 50. But you can go to that bench. Again, every time you do that, you have to refresh. You can't be doing other stuff and then going to your bench and having it work. It'll probably give you the full message again. Refresh and you should be good to go. Same thing applies on your phone. So if you have the companion app and you want to do it on there, you can. However, every time you hit that back button, when you're going to the squad, putting in that filter, every like 10 cards or so, it's going to have you put all that stuff in again. So it's easier to do it on the web app. I like it here a lot more. And yeah, dudes, that is essentially the method. That's how I do the lib. Again, if your main goal is to do it for profit, you're going to want to spend a lot of time doing those flipping. You're probably going to want to get a lot of duplicates like you're seeing me do here on the web app, and then maybe sell them after new content or throughout the day if you see a rise and dip in prices. The more you do this, the better understanding you're going to get. If you're new, dip your toes in the water. Don't be afraid. Again, if you're low on coins, those bids that you're doing, please, please, please make sure you're bidding less than the buy now. You know what the buy now prices are, so you can flip them for profit. If you bet on like 10 cards, again, maybe store one in your club, sell the rest for profit if you think you're going to run out of coins. You mainly want to set that foundation in your club of players and then get those duplicates constantly so you're not having to do the buy nows. That's what keeps the cost extremely low. That's what keeps it extremely profitable. But again, if you want to spin it, go your own way, do some more buy nows, do less bidding. That is completely up to you. I'm going to leave that up to you. This video isn't how to make coins on the lib. It was literally just showing you how you can grind it. If you want to change it to fit your kind of grind, that is up to you. Let me know down below if you found this useful. Again, hit that like button. Really would appreciate the support on this kind of video. If you want to see more, let me know what league you want to do next. I believe I'm going to do the championship next, but after that, if you have some more suggestions, probably the lower leagues first, then maybe we can work towards those top ones. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. It's been your boy MumboElite. I'm out. God bless.